Hi, this is Groovy Kim, and I'm here today with Nico, and we're talking about breath work. Here's a good example of needing breath work. Just before I started this video, actually way back when I had the idea for the subject matter, I got excited and had some heart palpitations, but that's a good kind of excited. But nonetheless, I still needed to slow down and take some deep breaths. Nico, what have you learned about breath working?
Well, there was actually something interesting I watched the other day. It had to do with this thing. I never heard of it before, but it was called box breathing. And
Box breathing. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
well, what that is you breathe in for 4 seconds. So,
Yeah.
and then you hold it for another 4 seconds.
Okay, so in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out 4.
Well, no, then you just hold it.
Oh, hold it 4. Okay.
Hold it another 4.
Okay, and then what?
And then you breathe out for another 4.
Okay.
And then again, hold it for another 4.
Oh.
So almost think of it like
In,
a box.
hold, out, hold. In, hold, out, hold. Each 4 seconds. Nice slow, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Because what does that do?
They were saying that this was actually taught in some of the military programs for
Really?
to calm down soldiers.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm not quite sure who actually developed this or
You know
who
what?
thought of it.
Actually, I just heard somewhere that the Navy SEALs use breath work. And they don't do things for no reason. They only do things that they know work, right? The Navy SEAL, the Defense Department uses breath work. They understand. I understand that the veterans also have been using breath work for PSTD patients is what I'm trying to say. PTSD? STD, elemental P. I'm sorry if you're someone who has that condition. What is it again?
PTSD.
PTSD. What does it stand for?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh, post-traumatic stress disorder. Do you feel that you've ever... Now, you didn't serve in the military,
no.
right? So do you feel that you ever had...
I mean, just as a human being,
stress?
I believe that everybody is subject to stress, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And wouldn't the level be your perception?
Yes, that definitely plays a big role in it. But, just going through life, you will run into stress. That's just how it is. And one of the things about it, though, is that most of us are never taught simple tricks such as just breathing that could help that. Because honestly, if you really think about that, it kind of sounds ridiculous if you have no knowledge of it.
Well, yeah, it's part of the autonomic system. So,
like, if I'm freaking out, like what do you mean that breathing is just gonna make everything stop? And like, what do you mean breathing is just gonna make my stress go away? Like, I have all these things that are happening.
Yeah. Well, medically, I used to work in the medical profession, and I used to always tell my patients to slow their breathing down right before surgery, because that would give them a much easier time of it. I mean, think about it. If you're laying there on the surgery table and you're going, oh no, you're freaking yourself out versus somebody holding your hand, aka Groovy Kim, and saying, we got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale, right? And then 4 on the exhale, come on now, let's do it together. I'll tell you what, oftentimes I would have the patient tell me, how much longer? And I would say, ma'am, we're done. And she'd say, you're kidding. And I'd say, no, you see, when you focus on your breath, it's going to be way better than if you're focusing on this thing that's stressing you out.
Because, I mean, that's one point of it is you can simply say, yes, breathing, but what do you mean by just breathing? there's techniques to it.
Yes.
And
wouldn't that be something then, you'd have to practice, because you're not born knowing the techniques. It's not like your parents sit you down and say,
no.
Here's your ABCs, and now we're going to practice your breath work.
And of course, they don't teach this in school.
No, of course not. No.
But
which the kids, think about all the little kids that are running around being diagnosed with ADD and being put on meds. Well, what if they had some breath work taught to them instead? Doesn't that make more sense? I don't know.
People hold all these energies in and they never release them. And that's what manifests these things into disease and into stressful things. And breathing is something that can help uncover some of those layers to get to the root cause of what these things might be, or why these things are occurring, and why these diseases are happening.
It actually slows down the autonomic system when you decide to breathe. You know that the human species is one of the only animals or life forms that can control its breathing with intention, right? You can intend to slow your breath down if you want to. Not very many species can do that, right? I think only humans can do that.
As far as we know.
Because
that could just be a human-made factoid too.
Yeah, but the point is you can use that to your advantage, right? You can use that for your own health and to heal your body. Stress and anxiety is not only a killer, we know that, but it causes all kinds of damage to your cells and can manifest then later on in all different terrible ways. And I think a lot of you may know my story. Mine manifested in terrible rheumatoid arthritis. My hands became gnarled and I could barely walk. And horrible. Breathwork was a big deal in my healing, man.
I honestly believe nature itself, including yourself, has all the medicine you ever need. Pills and all that, that's just man-made stuff that, because we're not doing it right.
You know what? It's a known fact that all the chemicals that, we have in the pharmacy actually exist in your body. You've got the best pharmacy in the world right here.
And they'll never tell you that.
Right here, and all your glands and your brain and your heart. All of these are quantum machines. And guess what? You're the CEO and you get to run it. You get to program it. Your quantum machine. Yeah. You get to program it. And one of the simplest first things that you can do to heal yourself is to learn how to breathe correctly.
It's the simplest thing there is to do.
It truly is.
The answer is always simpler.
Right? Instead of going to the doctor and I've got anxiety, what kind of prescription can I have?
This and that.
And this and that and this. And then God knows what the side effects are.
Yeah, there's a whole nother range of problems.
There are no side effects with breathing. It's the best thing you can do. Going outside and breathing fresh air. Having house plants. Fresh oxygen. They give off fresh oxygen, and they also give off a vibration in the atmosphere that is good for your body.
Again,
as well.
Nature has all the answers.
Nature always has the answers. Forget the prescriptions. Let's start learning how to heal ourselves. Because I did it, and I know you can too. Thank you very much for joining us. Please hit the subscribe button. And also click the link. The link that says like. Thank you very much.